Hello, this is Spellbinder's report on the unfiltered news from the Reality Zone compiled by G. Edward Griffin for the week of July 9th through the 15th, 2011. This is the debt ceiling, this is the Republicans going no, never, no, no, and is the photo op over? Okay, go ahead and raise it. That's what we're up against. Here is the headlines for this week. Citibank is showing a 24% profit even though its overall revenue fell by $20.6 billion. This is accomplished mostly through creative accounting such as dipping into reserves set aside to cover future bad loans. There actually is no profit, but media pundits will not discuss that. Yahoo, July 15. U.S. recognizes Libyan rebels as the new government in order to give them $30 billion in assets belonging to the Gaddafi regime that have been frozen in U.S. banks. This will scare foreign investors away from the U.S. banks because it shows that Uncle Sam, can take the depositors' money and use it for political leverage against them. Yahoo, July 15. U.S. The ATF notorious gun runner or Fast and Furious program that provided $10 million in guns to Mexican drug lords was funded by so-called stimulus money. That's why we can't have QE3. Authorized by Obama's administration, 150 people have been murdered by these weapons in Mexico, including 3 Americans. Congressman Alan West is calling for Attorney General Eric Holden's removal from office for his participation. Congressman Alan West posted July 14th. Australia, Greenpeace activists destroy an experimental genetically engineered wheat crop. Australia plans to be the first country to commercialize genetically engineered wheat, but polls show that the Australians do not want it because of health concerns. July 14th. Yahoo. Video. Fed Chairman Bernanke, a bankster, tells Ron Paul that the Fed has been paid back its bailout money and has made a profit for taxpayers. He also denies that gold is money. Yeah, right, and they collect it as if it's not, right? Right. Facts. The so-called repayments are the result of Enron-type accounting and worse. They were funded by new Fed loans and changes in the accounting rules, not from profits. They place an even greater burden on the taxpayers. As for money, it's the most basic definition of anything used as a medium of exchange. For centuries, gold has been the most recognized form of money in the world. YouTube, July 13th. Bernanke lies again. U.S. stock markets rallies as Fed Chairman Bernanke says he may implement another stimulus, QE3, so he can give it to the gun runners, supposedly to continue helping the economy. We say supposedly because expansion of the money supply through debt is precisely what caused the economic crisis in the first place. This is like pouring gasoline on a burning house. Into this news, the markets rallies. Telegraph, July 13th. Japan. Beef contaminated by radioactive cesium and iodine have been eaten by Japanese residents, intensifying food safety concerns. So far, there is no evidence of illness, but if the radioactive elements are not excreted, they could remain as continuing source of nuclear toxicity. Fish, spinach, mushrooms, and bamboo shoots also have been tainted. Bloomberg, July 13. U.S. Moody's credit rating service says it will downgrade ratings for 7,000 municipalities if the federal debt ceiling isn't raised. The theory is that these cities are largely dependent on federal funding, so if the source is downgraded, so is the recipient. In our view, they should have been downgraded years ago, and the debt ceiling has little to do with it. Bloomberg, July 13. Hungary destroys all crops of genetically modified organism maize because genetically engineered seeds are banned in that country. country. GE seeds from Monsanto and Pioneer were sown in Hungary on a massive scale. Therefore, they were eating it. Or somebody was. All about feed. July 13th. Ron Paul announces that he will not seek re-election to the Congress and is focusing entirely on the presidential race. YouTube, July 12th. Video. U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell proposes to grant Obama's dictatorial power to raise the debt ceiling without congressional approval. He claims this would put the blame for this unpopular move solely on Obama's shoulder. Yeah, right. But wait, if Congress votes for that, isn't that the same as voting for raising the debt limit? Of course, but maybe he's hoping voters are too dumb to figure it out. San Francisco Gate, July 12th. Afghanistan President Kazarian brother was assassinated by his own bodyguard. May be related to the fact that he was heavily involved in the Afghan opium trade. Infowars, July 12. Pakistan, 45 suspected militants are killed by U.S. drones. Suspected, in other words, it could have been civilians. The attack came one day after the U.S. suspended $800 million in aid to Pakistan, which looks upon such military actions as violations of the national sovereignty. Pakistan tolerated previous attacks because of the financial aid. Now that the money has been suspended, there may be an anti-U.S. reaction. In other words, the U.S. may want to go to war there too. And it's just a never-ending war. Never-ending. A million years war. MSNBC, July 12. Video. Obama says 69% of Americans who oppose raising the debt ceiling should not be concerned themselves with such matters and leave it to the professional politicians who have an IQ less than you do to handle it. Fox News, July 11. Courtside, Arizona, City Council and Police Chief ousted the mayor and declared state of emergency in which council meetings are secret. Against the law, public comments is denied. Against the law, the mayor was elected on a promise to investigate such corruption in the city government and says that this is an attempt to cover up their crimes. The police and everyone else is in there. It's against him, including millions of dollars in phony paychecks. Imagine that. The mayor now is represented by attorney Stuart Rhodes, who is a founder of Oath Keepers. Go Oath Keepers. Fox News, July 11th. USDA allows a genetically engineered grass. Yes, a grass that your kids will play on in the playgrounds and everything to be used without testing to determine potential harm. There is no law that specifically requires such testing. And companies like Scott and Monsanto want to keep it that way. Don't you know? July 11th. Video. Dark Side of Smart Meters is an excellent overview of an electrical engineer of how these devices on the outside of your home poses serious health hazards. They also can be used to gather data about your personal activities inside your home. Important information. You should watch this. YouTube, July 11. Yahoo says it has the right to read users' emails. Oh, really? For the information to sell for targeted advertising. Sounds like Google. The new sign-up agreement also says that if you communicate with non-Yahoo users, you are responsible for telling them about this. What are they going to do? Take your account away? Apparently. Daily Mail, July 11th. U.S. Grant County, Oregon. Sheriff defends right of local residents against unconstitutional actions of the U.S. Forestry Service. The sheriff's office is the highest authority within the county and may override federal laws and regulations if they are unconstitutional. I guess a lot of sheriffs across the country may not know this. Oath Keepers posted July 9th. Video. U.S. legal guardianship over elderly people who presumable are incompetent has become a major racket wherein the client of social workers, judges, lawyers, and nursing homes are stealing the assets of those in their care. Totally evil. YouTube posted July 9th. They're not there to care for the elderly, they're there to rob them. UN continues to spread the myth of man-made global warming and blame it on livestock ranches. That's right, livestock ranches, sheep, cows, whatever, chickens, livestock, well, cows and sheep. Its proposed solution is an end to family-based livestock operations. Corporate farming is okay where they don't care. They just pay the fines and go on, but the small farmer gets screwed. And more government regulations for the smaller farmer. This springs from the UN Agenda 21, which has no business in our country, which is a war against human independence and private property. We must abolish the UN from our country and the NATO. PPJ Gazette, July 9th. Electronic Frontier Foundation has written a legal guide to protect your cell phone and laptop computer from illegal search and seizure based on the Fourth Amendment. Read or download it. It's very informative. EFF posted July 9th. Video. The Organic Trade Association, which its members think is opposed to genetically engineered food, is run by a board of directors almost entirely from the genetic engineered food industry. Bad people. This is a classic case of controlled opposition and explains why the organization has lost all of its battles against the GMO, because they're on their side. Genetically modified organisms are evil. Playing God is not right. And they've been doing this for the past 20 years. YouTube posted July 9th. And the alternative markets, barter systems, and local co-ops allow people to protect themselves in a failed economy. Here is what you need to know about them. They may be in your future, so you should read this in the Activist Post, July 11th. When you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing, when you see that money is flowing to those who deal not in goods but in favors, when you see that men get rich more easily by graft than by work, and your laws no longer protect you against them, but protect them against you, ... you may know that your society is doomed. Aaron Rand, Atlas Shrugged. The documentary Gasland focuses on water contamination that follows a gas drawing and fracking in several scenes. Methane gas mixed with water burst into flame as it comes from water faucets. Now we find that this is not uncommon even before introducing the new technology. The film's producer failed to mention that because he felt it was irrelevant. But it should have been relevant. This has damaged the credibility of the documentary and dulled the possibility that contamination may be far worse than before drilling and fracking. What's up with that? July 4th. Smart meters send radio signals to your utility companies, but also can be used by government agencies and criminals to detect your daily living patterns, and when you are away from home, they violate federal and state wiretapping laws. This video analysis by Jerry Day describes the problem and what to do about it. Excellent one, YouTube. Posted July 2nd. Added subject here. That's the headlines. This is also on this. Canola oil is a genetically engineered food. From Paul N. I don't dispute how oil may kill insects. I have no expertise in that area. However, unlike olive oil, soy and canola are predominantly GMO crops and therefore are unfit for human consumption. In other words, these are not healthy foods for us as stated by Frank Legg. Additionally, soy and canola even if organic and non-GMO, are still not fit for human consumption, nor for consumption by animals intended to be eaten by humans. Go to this website and look at any of the articles about toxic properties about soy and canola. No coincidence that these are some of the major crops whose growers receive farm price support subsidies. Olive growers don't receive any. Until next time, though, this is Spellbinder with the Unfiltered News Report. Until next time, be good at it. Good day.